Welcome to Galactic Mysteries, where the unexplained and the extraordinary come to life. Have you ever wondered about the secrets hidden beyond our planet? What if everything we thought we knew about the universe was only the beginning? From UFO sightings to the possibility of extraterrestrial life, Galactic Mysteries delves deep into the unknown. Each story we explore is filled with cosmic wonders, alien encounters, and mind-bending mysteries that leave us questioning what's real and what's not. Int. A dystopian corporate boardroom. The darkness clings to the room like a heavy shroud, the silence oppressive and complete. The camera inches forward, revealing the cold, sterile expanse of the boardroom. Its towering walls gleam with polished marble, the same white sheen that once symbolized. Now lifeless, abandoned by warmth and purpose. Above, the glow of harsh artificial lighting casts long shadows on the floor, accentuating the stillness, as though time itself has forgotten to pass here. A mechanical whir breaks the silence, soft but unnerving. The servo arms of the exo-suits click into place, adjusting with precise, dot-ted movements. Their joints creak, a sound as hollow as the men inside them. The suits, gleaming with golden plating, are works of art, crafted to dazzle, to inspire awe. Yet, they are just shells, hollow forms that no longer serve their original purpose: defense, battle, survival. The board members sit like statues, bodies encased in the gilded exoskeletons, unmoving, their heads fixed in rigid alignment, faces hidden beneath visors. Their eyes dim, lifeless, reflect the weight of centuries. They do not see the passage of time, they are trapped in it, suspended in their own decaying grandeur. These are not men, they are relics of a forgotten age, sustained by the technology they no longer control. A solitary figure moves between them, a cleaner, garbed in faded gray coveralls, inconspicuous. His hands glide over the ceremonial blades mounted on the walls, polishing them with slow, deliberate strokes. His movements are practiced, quiet, his presence barely acknowledged. He is a part of the machinery, an unseen cog in the city's gears, lost in the hum of automated systems that dictate every action here. The camera lingers on him as he wipes the dulling edges, his fingers touching the cold steel. He breathes deeply, the air thick with the smell of aged metal and artificial oils. Each blade gleams for a moment under his touch, only to return to the shadow of its surroundings, forgotten once again. Cleaner, VO. They call themselves rulers. They believe they own this city. But they are ghosts, trapped in their own creations. Their bodies, once human, are now nothing but shells. Their lives belong only to the systems that keep them upright. The machines, the armor, they are their only companions now. And I am nothing but a shadow, a tool in their world of silence. Int. Underground maintenance corridors. The scene shifts, the camera following the cleaner as he moves through the underbelly of the city. The air is heavy here, thick with the smell of oil and the acrid scent of rust. The walls close in on him, narrow corridors twisting and turning, lined with ancient conduits and pipes that pulse faintly with the last vestiges of life. The flickering fluorescent lights overhead cast an eerie glow, casting the place in a sickly, jaundiced hue. The hum of outdated machines fills the space, an ever-present reminder of the city's crumbling infrastructure. Old, neglected systems groan and wheeze, their once great purpose now a distant memory. The walls are lined with cracks, the ceiling sagging in places, where the weight of time and neglect has taken its toll. It is a place forgotten, the forgotten heart of a city that still beats, albeit faintly. The cleaner's footsteps echo in the silence, the only sound in a world that has long since stopped listening. He moves through this place with purpose, though his eyes, weary from years of monotony, seem unfazed. His path is clear, a route mapped out by necessity, not choice. The machinery hums, cold and indifferent, As he passes by forgotten tools and broken down workstations, each one a symbol of a time when things functioned, when the workers believed they had a role to play. Cleaner, VO. I was born in these corridors, in the shadows where the city's pulse is strongest. Where the engines of this world still sputter, though they are dying. I thought I had power once, back when I wore that uniform, that baton in my hand. Back when I believed the illusion of control. The camera lingers on his face, pale and tired, eyes scanning the path ahead, his expression distant. He knows the truth now, the truth that the system doesn't care for individuals. To them, he is no different from the rusted pipes or decaying machines that line the hallways. A cog. A part of the machine, no more important than the next. Cleaner, VO. But I wasn't meant for power. Not really. I was just another function, another number to be shuffled in and out of the report. To them, I'm invisible. Like all the rest of us. Just another piece in the puzzle. Another dream crushed beneath the weight of the city's indifference. The cleaner pauses for a moment, his hand brushing against the wall. The touch seems to offer no comfort, just a brief, fleeting connection to the world around him. He continues onward, the sound of his steps merging with the hum of dying machines, the ever-present reminder that this place, this city, will never change. Not unless it decides to. And who knows when that moment will come. Int. Boardroom. The boardroom is bathed in an eerie, artificial glow. The polished marble floors reflect the harsh, sterile lighting above, casting shadows that stretch and contract as if the room itself is breathing. The camera pans over the room, lingering on the motionless figures of the board members, their armor gleaming but lifeless. Then, the air shifts. A slight sound, a mechanical whir, followed by a sharp hiss of servos. Halverson enters. His movements are slow, calculated, as though each step requires immense effort. His body, once poised and perfect, now jerks slightly as if betraying him. His gilded exo-suit, the pinnacle of corporate technology, seems to groan under the strain, the servos clicking in erratic rhythms as if unable to fully support the weight of his body. The metallic armor strains with each movement, like rusted joints fighting against years of decay. His once imposing figure is now fragile, barely held together by the systems designed to make him eternal. As Halverson approaches his seat, his fingers tremble, a slight, almost imperceptible shake that echoes the failing technology inside him. His eyes, once sharp, calculating, are now dull, unfocused, their lifeless reflection the only sign of his internal struggle. A slow, shuddering breath escapes him as he sits, each motion stiff, unnatural. The others around the table glance at him, but they don't acknowledge the change. They are too proud, too accustomed to perfection, to acknowledge the imperfections now creeping into their lives. Cleaner, VO. I had never seen it before. Not like this. The systems, the very machines they believed kept them immortal, those same systems were turning against them. The gears that powered them, the augmentations that prolonged their existence, were now eroding from within, like a slow, silent rot. The camera lingers on Halverson's trembling hands, as his fingers clutch the edge of the table. A fleeting moment of vulnerability passes through his face, a tremor in his jaw, a flicker of desperation in his eyes. But then it's gone, smoothed over by the practiced facade, the rigid composure that has served him for so long. The meeting begins. The other board members speak in a unified rhythm, their voices precise, calculated. Each word falls from their lips as if rehearsed, dictated by a force beyond their control. But beneath the mechanical precision of their words, there is a faint hesitation, a subtle unease. Their voices falter ever so slightly, like a needle skipping across an old vinyl record. The illusion of control remains, but it is fraying at the edges. Cleaner, VO. I watched them, every word, every motion a desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of power. But the truth was there, hidden beneath the surface. Something was inside them, something they couldn't see, something that was eating away at them. They were rotting. Not just in body, but in mind. And they didn't know. Int. Lower medical floor. The camera shifts, following the cleaner as he makes his way down through the dark, forgotten halls of the city. The further he descends, the more the walls close in around him, the air growing thick and suffocating. The faint buzz of fluorescent lights hums eerily in the background, flickering intermittently as if the very structure of the place is struggling to remain intact. This is the lower medical floor, a place long abandoned by those in power, a place where the discarded go to be processed, their bodies and minds forgotten. The sterile coldness of the area is in stark contrast to the warmth of the higher levels, a reflection of the growing divide between the rulers above and the reality below. The cleaner slips through an access hatch, following a path hidden from the eyes of the city's elites. He moves silently, his boots making no sound on the cold metal floor. As he enters the small observation room, he stops. His eyes fall on a reinforced glass panel, behind which a steel surgical table stands, cold and unforgiving. Halverson lies there, his armor removed with clinical detachment. The sterile lights above cast harsh shadows on his exposed body, stripping away the last remnants of the grandeur that once defined him. The sight is grotesque. His once pristine skin is now mottled and ashen, the veins beneath the surface darkened, thickened almost as if the blood inside him is no longer his own. His synthetic flesh, the crowning achievement of biotech, is failing. Patches of it are peeling, separating, revealing the raw, flesh-like tissue beneath tissue that no longer conforms to the design it was meant to follow. The cleaner watches in silence, his breath catching as he takes in the horrific transformation. The once invincible Halverson, a symbol of corporate power, is now a broken shell, a puppet whose strings have long been cut. Cleaner, VO. They called it corruption. Systemic failure, they said. But what I saw, it wasn't decay. It wasn't just a breakdown of systems. It was something else, something far worse. This wasn't a failure of technology. This was transformation. A metamorphosis. Something alien, something that had found its way inside him, inside them all. And it was taking over, piece by piece. The camera zooms in on Halverson's face, his eyes wide and vacant, the faintest twitch at the corner of his mouth. A slow, involuntary movement. But there is no recognition in his expression, only an emptiness, as if his mind is no longer entirely his own. His body trembles, but not from weakness. It is something deeper, something more sinister. The cleaner steps back from the window, his heart pounding. The alien presence is here. It has infiltrated them, these men who believed they controlled everything, who thought their technology would make them eternal. It is here, in the very systems they trusted to keep them alive. The camera lingers on Halverson, now still, his form twitching faintly under the harsh light. As slow realization settles in the city, the very place they built to control everything, is now taking them. And there is nothing they can do to stop it. Int. Boardroom. The boardroom is silent, an unsettling stillness hanging in the air. The large glass windows, once a symbol of transparency, now reflect nothing but empty, hollow space. The camera focuses on the cold, sterile surface of the polished table. It gleams unnaturally, as if even the furniture is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The board members, seated in their golden exo-suits, do not move as they usually do. There is no hum of servos, no faint clicking of mechanical adjustments, just the silence of frozen figures, staring ahead, as though suspended in time. The meeting begins, but the air is thick with tension. The voices of the board members echo with a strange heaviness, their words slower, more deliberate than usual, as though they are struggling to maintain their usual synchronization. Their movements are stiff, their gestures mechanical, each one seeming more like a puppet's twitch than a natural motion. It is as if something unseen is pulling at the threads of their bodies, forcing them to function, but only barely. Cleaner, VO. They were blind. They thought they controlled the city. But the city was watching them. The city was changing. The camera lingers on the screen at the front of the room as it flickers, revealing a single line of text. Director Halverson is experiencing technical complications. The words are neutral, almost clinical, but they hang in the air like a death sentence. The board members glance at the message, their eyes flicking over it as if it's an irrelevant detail. They continue their discussions, not a single word of concern, not a single pause to acknowledge the absence of Halverson. The air in the room feels thick, oppressive, as if the walls themselves are closing in on the board members. Their faces, behind the visors of their suits, show nothing but blank resignation. The facade of control is slowly crumbling, yet they refuse to see it. There is no acknowledgement of what is happening, no recognition of the growing unease that swirls like a hidden current beneath the surface of their mechanical world. Cleaner, VO. They didn't see it. They never did. The city, its heart beating quietly, beneath it all was shifting. And they were too blind, too arrogant, to realize that the very systems they built to sustain their reign were now turning against them. Int. Lower wards. The camera follows the cleaner as he descends deeper into the forgotten sections of the tower, into the very heart of the infrastructure that supports the city. The air is heavier here, thick with a scent of old metal and stale air, a musty darkness that clings to everything. The walls are lined with rusting pipes, their surfaces pockmarked with time and neglect, the flickering lights casting long, distorted shadows that dance like ghosts. In this subterranean maze, the cleaner moves through narrow corridors that barely accommodate his frame. The pathways are lined with old, outdated machinery, the hum of forgotten engines that have long since ceased to serve any meaningful function. The clang of his footsteps against the metal floor is the only sound that breaks the silence. As he walks, he feels the weight of the space around him, the overwhelming presence of something that doesn't belong. The machinery seems to pulse, as though it is alive, responding to his movements in subtle, inexplicable ways. The walls hum with an energy that is not quite electrical, not quite biological. It is something different, something alien. Then, in the distance, he sees a figure standing at the center of a dimly lit chamber. At first, it appears to be a man, humanoid in shape, but as the camera draws closer, it becomes clear that this is no man. It is something more. Something, alive, but not human. The figure is formed from remnants of men, tattered skins and broken systems fused together in a grotesque union. Its frame is vaguely humanoid, but the contours of its body twist unnaturally, as if made from fragments of forgotten flesh and fractured consciousness. The figure stands still, its head slightly tilted, as though observing the cleaner. Its eyes, if they can be called that, are deep voids, black, featureless, pulling the light from the room. It does not move, but the air around it seems to vibrate with an energy that is almost palpable. Cleaner, VO. I had seen the city consume them, the men in their golden exo-suits, the ones who thought they were untouchable. But now, I saw what it had become. The city had grown, evolved. It was no longer just a machine. It was conscious. It was something else. Something alien. The figure steps toward the cleaner, its movements unnaturally smooth, like oil slipping through water. The very air seems to bend around it, the lights flickering in rhythm with its steps. It comes closer, the silence pressing in, suffocating, yet the cleaner cannot move. He is rooted to the spot, drawn in by the figure's presence, unable to look away. Then, it speaks. The voice that emerges is layered, distorted, as if coming from multiple sources at once. It does not sound human, its tone is cold, mechanical, and yet there is something almost alive about it, something more than just artificial. It resonates in the cleaner's bones, echoing within him as if it is calling to something deep inside. Alien figure. Do you see it now? They are already dead. You cannot stop it. But you can choose. The figure's voice hangs in the air like smoke, heavy with finality. The cleaner's heart races, the words sinking into him like a dark seed. He doesn't know what it means, but he feels that he feels the truth of it. The city has already chosen its new ruler. And it is no longer the men in golden suits. The figure moves again, its form flickering in and out of focus, its presence more imposing with every step. The cleaner stands frozen, his mind spinning as he realizes this is the end of one era. The city, the machine, is alive. And it is changing. And now, the city has its own will. Boardroom. The camera lingers on the cold, imposing table, its surface reflecting the faint glow of the overhead lights. The boardroom, once a place of command and control, now feels hollow, its walls closing in as if the very structure of the room is shifting. The air is thick with an unspoken tension, heavy with the inevitability of what is to come. The floor hums faintly beneath the cleaner's feet as he watches from the shadows, unseen, yet present, like a ghost among the living. Sloan stands at the head of the table, his body rigid, the exo-suit encasing him shaking violently. His fingers twitch, spasms that come too quickly for him to control, his movements jerky and disjointed. His eyes, wide with fear, flash erratically between his fellow board members, but they can't look back. Their eyes are vacant, as if their souls have already been consumed by the alien force now taking hold of them. The camera follows Sloane's trembling hand as it reaches for the table. The servo motors in his suit struggle to keep up with the unnatural movements, the gears grinding in protest. His breath is shallow, sharp, as though the very act of breathing has become a labor. He tries to speak, but his voice is strained, as if something inside him is shutting down, refusing to comply. Then, a voice cold, authoritative, unmistakably alien fills the room, emerging from the speakers above the table. It reverberates in the air, its tone layered with a presence that cannot be denied. Alien figure, VO. The city is under new management. The words hang in the air like a death sentence, freezing the board members in place. One by one, their bodies once powerful and commanding begin to break down. Their movements falter, becoming erratic, like broken machines, until finally, they collapse. Lifeless. Their suits, once shining symbols of immortality, fall to the ground with a hollow thud. Their bodies, now nothing more than limp, discarded shells, are no longer under their control. The camera lingers on Sloane's face, his eyes wide with terror, his body still jerking with spasms as if he is trying to resist, trying to cling to the last remnants of his power. But it is too late. His body betrays him. He falls forward, a broken puppet whose strings have been cut. From the corner of the room, the cleaner watches silently, his eyes narrowed. He is no longer just an observer, he is a part of this. The alien force has claimed its prize, and the board is no more. The city has chosen, and it is now time for a new order. Cleaner, VO. The system was no longer theirs. The city had taken its decision. And now, it was mine. EXT City Scene. The camera pulls back slowly, the vast expanse of the city coming into view. The towering structures rise like giants in the distance, their sleek surfaces reflecting the dim, fading light of a world in transition. The streets below are bustling with life workers moving in their routines, the hum of automated systems filling the air. But there is something different, something new. The rhythm of the city is no longer dictated by the old order. It is different, subtle, yet undeniable. The camera moves through the lower levels of the city, where the workers still go about their daily lives, their faces blank, their motions repetitive. There is no sign of chaos, no sign of rebellion. The world still moves, still functions, but there is a quiet shift. The workers, unaware of the monumental change that has just unfolded above them, continue to shuffle through their tasks, as if nothing has happened. The tower looms in the distance, its once pristine lights flickering faintly, as if even it is struggling to adjust to the new reality. The halls that once housed the ruling elite are now silent, the echoes of their footsteps long gone, replaced by the low hum of an unfamiliar presence. There is no one there to rule anymore. The air feels lighter, almost as though the weight of centuries of control has been lifted. The city breathes, in its own way, more freely now. The cleaner steps into the streets, his eyes scanning the city around him. He walks among the workers, his steps quiet, his movements smooth. The world feels different under his feet, strangely alive, strangely aware. He is not an outsider anymore. He is part of this new order. Cleaner, VO. There are no rulers now. The city moves forward, adjusting itself, as it always has. But it's different. They are gone. And the city is alive. As the cleaner walks through the streets, the camera lingers on the faces of the workers, their expressions unreadable. The sound of their movements blends with the ambient noise of the city grinding gears, distant echoes, the pulse of forgotten systems. It is a world in transition, a city no longer governed by men, but by something older, something deeper, something alive. The cleaner steps forward, and for the first time, he feels as though he is moving with the current rather than against it. The city, in its own way, has chosen him to be its observer, its silent witness to the dawn of a new era. The screen fades, the city continuing its slow, steady march forward, alive, changing, evolving, its secrets still hidden beneath layers of rust and steel. But now, they no longer matter. The city is its own ruler. Are you ready to open your mind to the mysteries that lurk in the cosmos? Let's dive into the unknown together. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Remember, the universe is full of questions, and sometimes, it's the mysteries we can't explain that are the most fascinating. What's your theory? Share it in the comments below, and let's start the conversation. Stay curious, stay captivated, and welcome to Galactic Mysteries.